Hello friends of Skele.vad.or. So thank you for tuning in for another video. First things first, I want to thank you all so much for continuing to submit those daily votes to the DIY Hero contest. Be sure to click on the link below and continue to submit those daily votes for Ronald /Skele.vad.or. I really appreciate it. We're in the top 15 right now, folks. So if you keep voting, maybe we'll get to first place. Who knows? But thank you for tuning in. That's not why you're here today. You're here to see me look at the two new figures I got from Waybait. These two guys. Stick around and let's have a look. Oh, also, if you haven't listened to this podcast yet, find it and listen. It's great. Okay, folks. I genuinely feel like I've been waiting a very long time for these figures. They were announced in September at PowerCon 2021, and as soon as they popped up on the Target app last week, I ordered them and they arrived 3 days later, which was really, really cool. And they arrived in great shape too. As you can see here, the card backs are not dinged, no bends, in really great shape, though I'm gonna ding them and bend them as I open them. Because I'm an opener of these figures. So the artwork, of course, is phenomenal as usual. Great cardback art. I'm really looking forward to getting Sunman and definitely the Horde Trooper. I'm going to try and get 2 of those because they would look great next to my Hordak. I thought that the action feature for Anti-ETERNIA He-Man is pretty funny. Yes, he can hold his sword. But this action feature I've been looking forward to. So I'm stoked that his claw works just like the original vintage figure did. Now, as usual, and really it goes without saying, the cardback art here is phenomenal. One of the things I love most about this Origins line is that fantastic cardback art. Now, I'm going to open up Anti-ETERNIA He-Man first, simply because he's newer to me. I've read his characterizations in recent comic books, and I missed out on the classics version of him. But one of the things I love about this guy is he's an evil version of the classic He-Man figure. So the comic book is great too. I'm not going to go through it, but I love that clawful face on the front. He looks kind of like a Muppet. The shield is the traditional He-Man shield, but of course in black and that sort of deep reddish orange, which is very cool. The battle axe is a solid matte black, so heavy metal. I just love it. And of course the black power sword, so cool. So very cool. The thing that really stands out to me about this figure is how the reds, the oranges, really pop against that black. I don't know if you can see it here, but you can. The white of the eyes has sort of a red outline, which really creates sort of a menacing or emanating evil on that traditional face sculpt, which is very, very cool. I mean, just check out so we've got the same reddish brown on the hair, the shorts, and the boots. It really ties everything together with this guy. He's so, the simplicity of the design, the simplicity of the colors, it's exactly what we love about the Masters of the Universe figures and the characters. So this is this fits right in with the collection, even though he's a newer in quotation marks, character from the Masters of the Universe line. And he looks great with his weapons. I had a little trouble getting his shield on, but it popped on there. Now here's the guy. Really excited to get this guy open. Clawful for 2 years at least when I was a kid was my absolute favorite figure. I've always loved the design of this guy. The movable claw, very cool. But the overall aesthetic for this figure just really strikes a particular chord with me. I don't know if it's because I was obsessed with the ocean, with ocean creatures as a kid too, perhaps, maybe. I'm not sure exactly. Those bright colors, who knows? The big black eyebrows or something, I don't know. But when I saw the original design for this at PowerCon this past September, I was like, okay, good. They're honoring the vintage figure. The weapon too, even, is very, very similar to the vintage weapon. But let's take a close look at this guy. The colors are extremely bright compared to the vintage, compared to any other iteration of him. And they took the time to really exaggerate in sort of a subtle way his face sculpt. His mouth is a little bit more open. They actually painted each of his teeth on his lower jaw, which gives him a more menacing facial structure. But everything is similar. The bumps, the texture, it's very, very cool. Very cool to see. So this newer version, his feet are a little bit bigger than the vintage version. And I believe they are the same feet that Buzz Off came with. The skin tone is sort of a little bit of a brighter, orangey flesh tone, which is cool. I love that there's articulation in the wrist for that smaller claw, which is a wonderful addition. His armor on his chest is soft. It's not hard like the vintage figure, but that's typical of these Origins figures. His joints are strong, are tight, so he stands on his own, which is great. Some Origins figures have loose knees or loose ankles, but this guy is solid. Really happy to have him. It took me a little while to figure it out, but if you can actually pop his mace right there into that claw, and it holds very, very well. So yeah, I'm really excited about this guy. Now, I also wanted to test out his claw, and it works just exactly like the vintage. It has a nice grip there, and wanted to show him off here right next to my Rancor that has a very similar mechanism for his opening and closing of his jaw. Simplicity of design really strikes a chord with me. And right now we're really looking at two of my favorite toys ever. Okay, so as you can see, as more and more Clawfuls get added to this lineup, I only have that additional Eternia Minis Anti-Eternia He-Man to add to this lineup, but the colors really work well with Anti-Eternia He-Man in there, along with the Filmation Clawful, the Vintage, the Origins, the Classics, and the 2000X Clawful, as well as that Eternia Minis Clawful. This lineup looks really great. Thank you, Mattel. Now, thank you for watching. Please click like and subscribe. And if you're feeling motivated to vote for Ronald Zarigian/Skele.vad.or in the DIY Hero Contest, the link is down below too. So go ahead and click on that, and I'll see you in the next video.